Okay, welcome back to the Hunter Call of the Wild. I'm the gray-haired gamer, your host, and with me, somewhere there he is always, is Gunner the Wonder Dog. Now today we're taking a little bit of a break from the Great One grind over there in Quattro, so we decided to come back over here to Mexico for a little bit of fun. Go hunt us some whitetail, go hunt us some mule deer, and go see what we can get into. We're still on the hunt for one elusive prize we know is on the map, is a mule deer albino doe. We've already taken her boyfriend. We have an albino buck, and we want to have the doe to go with it. We've also taken two of the dilute mule deer that look almost albino, but they have the dark eyes and almost like a purple sheen to their coats. Pretty incredible looking animals. And as far as the whitetail go, we have taken an albino there, a melanistic, and a piebald. But still, we can always use more. So let's take a look at our map and see. Now, we were up through this valley last time we were here, where a lot of mule deer are, and up around this lake, so we do have some hunting pressure up there. So we want to clear that out before we go back up in there. But we also have plenty of other valleys. We have this one here just to the south that meanders its way up through, and also down here by this big lake on the other side of our one hunting area. We have a couple valleys. We haven't even actually fully explored all of those yet. We do have a tent set up right there, so I think that might be where we start. Yeah, mule deer start at 7:30, so let's jump over to this tent, and then we'll reset our time. That's one good habit to get into if you're going to use a tent and travel into a tent. Unless they changed it, we have had a couple big patches lately, and still no word and no patch notes have been released for the latest patch that happened yesterday, the 15th. Today's the 16th. Still no patch notes on that, and it was a big one. It was like 75 gigabytes on Xbox, and we're not exactly sure what they changed. But banning that, or barring that, whenever you do jump into a tent, you usually spook the animals that are around you. So one habit I get into is I will jump to the tent first and then rest and reset my time, so that those animals will have time to calm down. And we'll go right at 7 o'clock. The drink time starts at 7:30, or the zone time. And there's Potts. Hey, what's happening? And we're back. We're in 1080p, nice and crispy. And we did turn our bandwidth back down to 5K kilobytes a second, and running a nice frame rate, almost 50 frames a second. So we reviewed the videos from our test streams earlier, and we found this did the best quality. That the 6 grand in the kilobyte rate was not necessarily better. And yeah, here we got zones right outside our door at midnight to 4:30 here. But we want to head up into these valleys. Now that all the lag is gone, we can actually come down here and hunt and not, move in slow fucking motion. Looks good, you're all good. Oh, that's good to hear, man. That's good to hear. What the little icons you got up there? That's some funny shit. So we took a little break from the red deer. Now we're going to come over here and hunt muleys. Like I said, we're still looking for that one elusive one that we know is on here, that Albino Doe. And we do not really have to change up our loadout from the red deer to the mules. They're both class 6 animals, and also the whitetail, while they're class 4, our weapons cover both of those classes. So just for Mad, we're packing the Eccles 30-06 Prestige, our rangefinder binoculars, and it would not be a gray-haired gamer hunt without the silent but deadly crossbow. We should probably change a couple of our calls. Comedy series. Oh, I've heard of Little Britain. They were kind of small. I couldn't quite read what they said, but yeah, I've heard of Little Britain. So let's go in our storage here. We'll swap out a couple calls. We'll get a something for the muleys, if there is one. Okay, we have a couple spaces now. Obviously, we're not going to need a red deer call, but we'll keep that in our inventory so we don't have to change it later. We'll pick up the deer grunt call. And is there anything for the mule deer? Nope, appears there is no call for the mule deer. Alrighty then. So it looks like we are good to go here. You want that one? The mule deer call? Computer says no. So this will be a big change. This is the first time we've been up in these valleys since the lag has been fixed, man. So it'll be definitely like a brand new area for us. The wind is pretty good, and we set our waypoint right. And there we go, there's our muleys right there. Oh yeah, they run around all around the edge of this lake. All around these little valleys. So they're definitely worth checking out. But we're going to check out this one up here first. We haven't fully... Oh, that's what... I want that one confused. Oh, that's what the emotes say. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like a lot of British television. That one I haven't seen, but I've seen... I love the IT Crowd. And... what was the one with Simon Pegg, where him and the girl wanted to share a flat, and so they pretended they were married. That one was hilarious. So when I was growing up, we had channel 13, which was like public access or public broadcasting. So there was a lot of educational shows and everything. But there was a sister station, channel 16, and late at night, man, they would carry a lot of the British television back in the day, like the Benny Hill, like Uncensored, and Monty Python, the original Monty Python series, Dave Allen. Man, a lot of great shows. And shit, yeah, it was good. Like Sharing Space or something like that. Used to love the Young Ones. And Dave Allen, I caught some of his videos, some of his old stuff from back in the day on YouTube recently, man, and I laughed just as hard as when I first saw it. And yeah, even the original Office, the British Office, was really good. But we got them over here on the other side of this hill. we might have to head over that way. If we go a little further up here and we don't see anything up in here, we might switch over and go up that other valley. Which is, I think, the last time what happened, that we wanted to come up in this valley, and all the activity was in the next one over. The other one that I really enjoyed when I was a kid was the original, the BBC Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. You know, they don't make shit like that anymore at all. It's all either recycled or woke LGBT garbage. But man, it is so nice to be back in these areas that we were denied so long because of that fucking lag. And again, we had the big patch again yesterday. I looked again today all over the place, and I could not find one word of what was in the big patch yesterday. The new 75 gigs. It had to be something. I mean, it had to be something big. Unless it was all the minor bug fixes that should have been in the last one. Yeah, they're all down here below us. Alright, I think we're going to turn around and go where the calls are coming from, man. You got to go where the animals are. And some of these valleys are very, very long. This one up here in the north that leads from this little double lake to the east and up to this big lake. Just this part of the valley, is you have to come down and turn, is almost like 2 kilometers long. I mean, it's very, very long. Same with a lot of the other ones. They're also very long. But what's nice about them is you have these cliff faces, and you would think a mule deer, you know, would go right up over and over the top, but they don't. They'll climb up, and sometimes they'll go over, but a lot of times they come right back down. So that makes like a channel and keeps them from running. They can only run away one direction, and you can funnel multiple groups right up the valley, like on this one that goes to the lake. We'll start down here, and as we start working our way up, we'll see one group, maybe shoot one, the rest will run further up the valley. They'll collide into a second group, and we'll be right behind them, and then we'll take another shot, make one more kill. Then we're chasing 2 groups, then we're chasing 3 groups, and until eventually we get up here to the lake, we'll have 30 or 40 of them running around this lake because it's a bottleneck. There's nowhere for them to go once they get there. So it's a lot of fun to get them going. And you can just follow them, and keep get your chances and make the kills. Now, with the mule deer, they are pretty similar to the reds in the group composition and their behavior patterns, things like that. But with one big difference is that the males aren't quite the cowards that the red deer are. the red deer, the males are always like the last ones to come in, and they hide right in the pack of the females. With the mule deer, though, you'll find them out kind of in front and kind of leading the way a lot of times. But they will, the way they spook, and they will turn around and want to come right back. That's the same as the red deer. The group composition's, like I said, about the same. That you have three basic groups. You have a mixed group that's obviously males and females, and usually you'll have 2 or 3, sometimes even 4 males and probably like a half a dozen females. And then you'll have the second group is the solitary buck or the solitary male, and the most rare, the third type is the solitary female. So those aspects are very, very, very similar between the reds and the mules. Like I said, they're both class 6 animals, so the same ammo, the same weapons work well for both of them. So you get used to shooting one, making shots at 150 or even 200, 300 meters with the red deer. That's going to carry right. Yeah, we're not hunting turkey today. I still disagree that turkeys should be a class 1 animal. They should be a class 2 at least. I mean, they're not like a little duck or a little quail or a little pheasant. They are a pretty beefy animal. And yeah, in real life you don't hunt wild turkey with the 22. Birdshot out of a shotgun, yeah, okay. But that's the only weapons in the game that will go down to class 1 is the 22 or the birdshot. Now, where's that coming from? Right over the hill that way from us. Yeah, so they're right down here on this lake shore. All right. So I'm always an advocate of knowing your prey, observe, especially when you're first starting a hunt or a grind for an animal. Don't go into a zone right as the zone is active. Go in a little early, especially if it's a grind animal where you're going to revisit the same areas again and again. Go in a little early and watch them as they come in. Watch where they're coming from, where they come in, where they go out, where they run to when you spook them. That will definitely, all that information will pay off time and again. So we got some tracks right there. We got some little bit of scat. Let's see if we can sneak out up here behind this rock and get a view down on them. What's that? Yep. There's the doe. Alright, so that was probably the one that was making the noise. And it looks like she might be all by herself. So she might be the solitary female, that third type of group. That's coyote, yep. Let's post herself right here on this rock and see if she's alone. If she is that rare, that's very rare. The solo female. 9 times out of 10, when you see a female, she is part of a mixed group. So if you see one female, to be looking for, the rest of her group. And there's turkey down there. Alright, we're not really seeing too much else. This is a nice little vantage point, though. Yeah, we're up in the hilly terrain up in here. Terrain that most people, myself included, didn't really think of when we thought of Mexico. You know, I was like, you know, a lot of people, you know, Mexico, you thought of like the cowboy movies. You know, it was desert and dry and hot and dusty. You know, like the good, bad, and the ugly kind of terrain. But Mexico has a lot of different biomes. You know, you get down in like the Yucatan and Acapulco area, man, it is straight up jungle. I mean, trees 50, 60, 70 feet tall. You get 10 feet off the trail and you are lost. You know, it does have the desert too. I mean, don't get me wrong, but there are a lot of different biomes in there. A lot of different terrain, a lot of different types of wilderness. So it is very nice with this map that they did represent all of them, because it would have got awful boring if it was all just desert. Alright, so we did all that walking around just to come back to our tent and only see one deer so far. But that's okay, that's okay. We're going to head on up into right around this point and see what's over in the next valley here. Because even though their drink zone is 7:30 to like 10 or 11, they will stay in this area pretty much the whole day. So we're not limited by that one little window of opportunity. See there's a white-tailed deer that come through here. We're not sure when he came through here, but yeah, you'll have whitetail, you'll have mule deer up in these valleys, you'll have turkey, coyotes, we've heard them, rabbits, a lot of different species up in here to hunt. This is actually a pretty good spot, these valleys, to hunt turkey. Go a little bit here. Once we're out on this exposed rock, we can walk full speed and not make a excessive amount of noise. Now we do want to try and get some kills out here, because there are some spots that have hunting pressure that we want to erase, and we can only do that by inflicting new hunting pressure in different spots. And we talked about all that in our new player guide series. That was, I think, part 4 with the hunting pressure, all about hunting pressure. And the one key thing that we've been using is when it's beneficial to only inflict small amounts of hunting pressure, and the more important and the less obvious one is when is it beneficial to inflict large amounts of hunting pressure, because there are times and in certain places where it is very beneficial to inflict a lot of hunting pressure. We've been using that technique in our Quattro Colinas very successfully. That it's kind of like a two-part deal we have, you know, because we're on the red deer grind. So we hit certain areas up again and again and again, our farming areas. And so for those areas, we don't want hunting pressure in those areas, not for very long. So we'll go into those areas and specifically try to take everything we can with the crossbow, with archery, or, you know, from a structure, so that you're only inflicting small amounts of hunting pressure. And then to clear those areas off, we'll go out to another area where we find animals, but there is no zone. Okay? And then we will purposefully inflict big amounts of hunting pressure by just going in with the rifle on foot and just blasting away everything we possibly can. And it's actually very beneficial because one big splash of hunting pressure will erase 2 or sometimes even 3 small splashes of hunting pressure that we make with the crossbow. So we can go in with the crossbow and make like a dozen or 18 kills and go to this area with no zone and kill 4 or 5 animals with the rifle and erase 18 hunting pressure splashes with the crossbow. So it clears our map off very, very quickly, very effectively, and then we can get our respawns and get right back into our farming areas. And it's been working. Just yesterday alone, we were hunting over there, and it's 2 areas, but I split it up into three spots because we have one riverbank, the north part of one lake, and then the southern part of the same lake. It's too big to hunt all at once. And we were in there yesterday in those 3 areas, and we took out 4 or 5 mythical red deer. And we get respawns in there consistently, by the time we're done hunting, we have it cleaned off and we're ready to go back in and have them respawn and hunt them all again. Our one area on the riverbank, we've been taking out mythicals, we've been taking out 9 legendaries, and we even took, it was broken, but we even took our great one out of that same area. So by understanding that hunting pressure, man, you can make it work for you. Some other techniques I've gotten with hunting pressure is that if I have 2 drink zones close to each other, or 2 zones, and one is close to me, one is further away, and if the animals don't want to come to the one that's closer to me and give me some nice easy shots, then I will purposefully step out of my structure or what have you and blast one that's in the zone further away and inflict hunting pressure on that area, a large amount. Not enough to delete the zone, but enough to make the animals wary. Because once you get a little bit of hunting pressure, the animals will be a little nervous. You get a little more hunting pressure, they'll come to someplace else. So I can control how the animals move and where they're going to go to use their zones by using hunting pressure. I can actually inflict hunting pressure on purpose, keep them from using that further away zone, and make them come to the zone that's closer to me. And those are only things that you can figure out once you understand just exactly what the hunting pressure is, because it's not all negative. It's not all negative. A big thing for this game that a lot of people overlook, and a lot of the quote big league hunters, they don't talk about that because they don't understand it, is taking disadvantages and making them advantages. And hunting pressure is a prime example of that. Hell, I was even doing it with the lag. That I did a little bit of studying, especially here in Quattro, that I knew once I was walking along nice and easy and everything was good, and I started hitting lag, I knew, boom, I was within 200 meters of at least one large group of animals. I started using that lag, that disadvantage, as my deer radar. I turned that into an advantage. And it made a difference, man. definitely. Alright, so, oh man, no wonder he's up there calling. Another scent's blowing right at him. And there are some other techniques too that I noticed that no one, not these big leaguers, really talk about. One is when you're shooting, and this applies in real life too, is you know that wobble, like it's here. Let's pull out our rifle here. But we have this wobble up and down. Now instead of trying to fight it and hold it perfectly steady, because you're not going to do it, not in the game, not in real life, you learn to work with it. You know, you pick your spot, and as that comes up or as it's coming down, you watch, and when you pick your spot, when that crosshair passes that spot, then you pull the trigger. And that is exactly the same in real life too. No one talks about that technique, but I use it all the time. Like when I'm aiming on an animal, you'll hear me saying lift up, lift up, lift up. I'm actually talking to my crosshairs, because I know that it's going to dip and rise, dip and rise. Instead of fighting it and trying to make it go where I want it, I work with it and watch. So I know, okay, it dipped, so now it's going to come up, and right when it passes that heart, boom, I pull the trigger. So that is a very common technique in real life, but no one talks about that. None of these big league streamers talk about that, and none of them ever explain it to you. They have you fight and fight and fight your crosshairs, when it's a very simple habit to get into, to work with your crosshairs and watch your kill count, watch your accuracy go shooting up. We do have some tracks in here, and we were hearing some calls, but we're not really seeing anything up in here. Oh, this is the valley. The last time I was up in here, man, we had 30 or 40 mule deer up in here, but it lagged us out so bad we couldn't shoot anything, because we pulled the trigger and it would be like 2 full seconds later till the bullet actually left the barrel. But man, we hit a lot of mule deer up in here. They were all up over this hillside. They were stuck like in behind the rocks. They were everywhere. And yeah, here's like one prime example. These steep cliffs up in here, that they form that barrier, and they channel those animals right up like a funnel. You can see, yeah, we're hitting some tracks and stuff in here now. Yep, we got mule deer up in here. So again, we just kind of want to take our time. Once we see something, you know, we want to look for the buck, for the stags, whatever you call them, for mule deer, the boys, the ones with the horns. And so we do want to get that first kill, but then the rest, we can walk, and we don't want to be 100% stealthy, because we want to keep them spooked a little bit on edge. We want to drive them and push them up into the end of the valley, where they have nowhere to run, and it becomes literally a shooting gallery. I know if a lot of people, if they've been around the game a little bit, have heard of the Leighton, the railroad tunnel, and that was a spot where, especially if you had a four-wheeler, you could go down the railroad tracks and cut back and forth across the railroad, and that noise would just push every animal in front of you out and channel them right to that railroad tunnel. And they would be trapped. And I've seen videos where people have gone down there and have had like 20, 30 animals in there, and it just literally becomes a shooting gallery as fast as you can pull the trigger. Well, these valleys work very similar to that, but you do need to take a little bit of time to run the animals up here, and you have to be in the area at the right time to have the animals here in the first place. But they channel and they funnel all these critters right up to the end. We're not really seeing it too much up here yet, so we'll walk a little bit. Said if there's anything out in front of us and we spook it, it's either going to stay out in front of us and be bottlenecked, or come and running right past us, and we'll get a look at it, because this is one of the narrow valleys. Nothing can obviously sneak past us, being only like 20 meters wide. Uh-oh. I saw shadows moving. I saw shadows moving right there. So that means there's something probably up on the hillside. Might have just been a game glitch. I'm not sure. But yeah, we are looking for one where is that coming from? Down in behind us. It's probably that same female that we saw a while ago. One very specific mule deer. There is an Albino Doe. We've seen her. We know she exists, so unless they did a population reset and didn't tell anybody, we know she still exists on our map somewhere. But the problem was, the day we saw her, we destroyed her zone. And so she went someplace else to drink, and we have not been able to figure out where. We've been scouring the map and looking all over the place in all these little valleys and all these off-the-wall places, trying to find out where she hangs out. And so far, we haven't had any luck. But with time and with patience and a little bit of dedication, a little bit of effort, we'll figure it out. We'll find her. We'll run into her sometime or another, and then she'll be ours. We have her boyfriend, the albino buck, already, like I said, in our trophy lodge, and as well we have two the dilute males. So I'd love to find a female of those as well. Hey, shoot cute. Hey, what's happening, buddy? How you doing tonight? Working. That's a bummer. Yeah. We're out here working too, but we're walking and working. Trying to find us some muleys back here in Mexico. But we made it a little easier for you to see what's going on. We finally busted up. Did some testing today, and now we're convinced we're able to run a full 1080p and supposed to be 60 frames a second. But we're maxing out at about 48 to 50 frames a second, so you ought to have a much easier time seeing what's going on and seeing details and everything. Drilled the walls. Yeah, we pushed the envelope, drilled the walls, hammered the nails, upgraded the system, whatever it took. What was that old line from Mr. Mom, the movie with Michael Keaton, where he was the steel worker that got laid off and had to go back to work, or go back home, and his wife gets a job, and the one line in that, what'd you shoot him with, a 38? 38, 39, whatever, got the job done. So we spent 2 days offline, upgrading hardware, upgrading software, cobbling things together, and it basically got us a whole new setup here with our hardware. And now we're able to, like I said, take advantage of hardware acceleration, and we've really been able to bump up the quality of the video on our stream here. So we're pretty happy about that. Now if we could just find some damn critters to shoot. Now we did do a test stream, not in this. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah, we jumped from what was it, 640 or 480p and 30 frames a second and an 1800 bit rate. Now we're cracking 1080p, 60 frames a second, and 5,000 bit rate. Do have to do a little bit of work with the microphone yet. I need to get a couple cables, a couple adapters, and we'll have that knocked out. Yeah, so far so good. Yeah, we're hanging right at. We're actually just over 5,000, almost 6,000 kilobytes a second. So we're pretty happy to set a lot of those technical problems, man. They caused me some problems over many days, many weeks. So we're glad to finally put them to rest. Cable internet's the way to go. Yeah, we have fiber optic here. Italy, it's surprising. They have some pretty good cable and internet. Yeah, we're running fiber optic. And I did the speed test net, or speedtest.net, the test, and they say for Twitch that you look at your upload speed and whatever megabits you get, multiply that by 10, or no, I'm sorry, by 1,000, I think. And when I was pushing 14 megabytes per second upload speed, and they said, so for that I should be able to run 14,000 bit rate, but they say to be on the safe side, go half of that. So for me, still, that's 7,000, which is pretty impressive. I could run probably full 4K with that type of upload speed. But we did some testing today. We ran at 5,000 for a little while, and at 6,000 for a little while, and found it was actually a lot better to go 5,000. Where is our? We were getting better quality and everything, actually, with the slower bit rate. Problem is bit rate on the client side as well. Yeah, exactly. And I'm not an affiliate just yet. We're closing in on it. Need to get a few more followers, but they cap you as a free user at 6,000. And we got first time chat, Tubbiest Virus. Hey, how's it going tonight? Thanks for joining us. I know things are not really too exciting up here. We're kind of scouting out some of these side valleys looking for mule deer. We're out in Mexico today. And when you're scouting, you never know. It's like Forrest Gump says, you never know what you're going to get. But if you don't scout them, you will never know what's in them. Suggested by someone that watches your stream and trying this game. Heard I was the best, LOL. Well, thank you for that. And whoever told you those kind words, tell them thank you from me. I don't know about the best, but we sure try hard. So you just getting into this game, just trying it, or have you been playing it for a little bit? Oh yeah, we need to get back down in this valley over here. Yeah, we're not seeing too much of anything up in here. That's yeah, I played it on Xbox back in the day, but when Epic gave it out, it downloaded it, so just relearning. Yeah, they have made a few changes. Basic game mechanics are still the same though, but they have done some tweaking of things. Where you been hunting? Have you picked a spot yet, or you still got just the two starter maps? Oh, you're on PC now too. Okay. Yeah, that'll be a little different. But you with the PC, you can take your Xbox controller with an adapter cable and plug right into a USB port on your computer. And if you're running Windows, it will recognize it and configure it immediately. So you can still, if you like playing with the console controller, you can do that on your PC. You don't have to relearn everything with the mouse and keyboard. You want to get into the multiplayer? How is it? If you're playing with your buddies, it's a lot of fun. It really is. But to go into a blind game, there's some things you need to be cautious about. You switch to mouse and keyboard. Oh, so you're kind of probably used to it. But you do have that option, just so you know. Like I said, Microsoft and Windows. So you plug it in, and like I said, it will recognize it and configure it immediately, and it'll act just like it's on your Xbox. But there's like with multiplayer, there's basically like two situations. One with you're playing with your buddies, and that's like, or people you trust, and then one you're playing with strangers. Okay. Now, the more people you have on a map in the multiplayer, the more animals that are supposed to be there. Okay, so that's one good advantage of multiplayer. But if you're gonna go in and play just the open multiplayer with strangers and people you don't know, I would not host a game. Okay, there's two ways you can have multiplayers. One is you can be the host, okay, which gives you some advantages. You can set the rules, whether you want to say yes or no to using four-wheelers. You can say yes or no to using the dogs. And sometimes you can also get a lot of administrative commands. Like if someone's being a real asshole, you can boot them. Okay, so that's an advantage. The big disadvantage is when it's strangers coming onto your map, they can fuck your map up. Okay, because they can. You usually host because you have your tents and tripods, but do you let strangers come rolling into your map shoot, or is it just for your buddies? People you know that are gonna, respect your zones and not make a big mess of things. Because like for me, I spend especially on certain maps where there's great ones, and I spend a lot of time scouting out my zones and finding my zones and protecting my zones and making sure that I don't shoot too much in any one area. Now and then you host with randoms. Yeah, I try not to host with randoms. And I protect my zones, and it only takes one Yahoo to come in and just bang, 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 and go crazy and destroy or delete a lot of your zones. Or who was it yesterday just told me I think it was Turnstile, said he hosted with someone that was on, I think, Twitch or YouTube, and was like a pretty well-known name. He wouldn't say who, and I didn't ask. But he thought he could trust this guy to respect his map. And so he said, okay, yeah, I'll host you, come on my map. And he said the guy just come in, messed his map up, and just plowed up hunting pressure all over the place, and then just bounced and never like even said thanks or bye or nothing. So that's the risk you take hosting. So you have benefits. Yeah, you can boot people, you can set the rules, but you take that risk of people coming in disrespecting your map. Okay, not serious about the game as you are, Gray. Someone wants to do bang bang, then let's do bang bang. I mean, I'll do bang bang too, but I don't want all my work shot to shit either. I'm just saying it's a risk, and if you value those things, then you need to be aware of it, that it can happen. But being a joiner and not a host also has advantages and disadvantages. Okay, the disadvantages are the reverse. You are joining, so you don't get to set the rules. Okay, you don't get a say in whether there's four-wheelers or not. You don't get a say in whether there's dogs or not. Okay, and you can't boot people. But on the benefit side is you can see what zones that other person, the host, has already discovered. So it can help you out. And not only just in that multiplayer game, like if you go, like here, if we look at my map and we look at this lake, okay? Now, let's say you're multiplayer and I'm the host. You will see my need zones, like here, here, here. You'll see all these zones as I have discovered them. Okay, so you can take that knowledge and be like, oh man, he's got a lot of zones around this lake, and it's this one right here. And you can take that knowledge back to your single player and be like, man, I need to go check out that lake on my map. Sorry, no racing on the property. See, I grew up with four-wheelers, man, living in the mountains, so we didn't hunt off the four-wheelers, but we had fun ripping around on them. So that's one advantage of joining a multiplayer, being a joiner. As you can see, like I say, where zones are, they might not be in exactly the same place on your map as the host map, okay? But they will be in the general area. So, like if this lake is a hot spot, or this certain valley is a hot spot on the host map, it probably will be on yours too. Another one is seeing where hunting outposts are. Like we got one right here. If you are just starting out on that map and you don't have that discovered, those will be in exactly the same place on every map. Okay, the outposts, the stands, that like this one right here, that's the little white symbol, this hunting stand, that will be in exactly the same place on every person's map. And then the third one is the little lure icons or landmarks. Those also will be in exactly the same place on every map. Okay, so that is a lot of useful information that you can find out on somebody else's map. Hotspots, outposts, landmarks, hunting stands. Let's see, was there something else I was going to say too? When you're a multiplayer, when you join, okay, when you first get the game and you don't buy any DLC, you start off with two maps, Leighton Lakes and Hirschfelden. Okay, so in single player, you can only play those two maps, but in multiplayer, if you join someone's game who's playing on Virunga, who's playing on Mexico, who's playing on the New Mississippi, you as a joiner don't have to own that map. You can still go play that map, but you can't host that map. So you can go and play and check it out and kind of see. It was set up to give you a trial run to see if you wanted to buy it, but you don't have to. As long as someone out there is hosting that map, you can go play it for free. So that's a big benefit of joining. So, like I said, it's usually a lot better. I like to go with my buddies. One, because you have that cooperation. A lot of times when you join up with strangers, this guy goes off into this corner of the map, this guy goes off down here, this guy goes off down here, and everybody just kind of runs around and does their own thing. But it's very cool if you can get cooperation. Then you can do things like put on drives, push animals, set up ambushes, plus go racing on the four-wheelers, things like that. You can have a lot more fun and have a lot more options with your buddies. So there are advantages and disadvantages to both, and you have to decide for yourself, what you want to do. But that one, playing the maps for free is a big advantage. And we're almost up to the end of this valley, so we'll go 300 more meters. We haven't seen anything up here, man. That's a bummer. Now, if you want to refresh your memory and things like that too, I did make, we're up to 4 parts now, a new player guide series, and it's on YouTube. It's on my YouTube channel, and it's in its own little folder. It might be worth for you to watch. Maybe not the first exact episode, but I would still kind of breeze through it real quick. It's your first day as a hunter, explaining basic game techniques, aiming, zooming, wind, zones, things like that. But then the second one we do is all about skills and perks, and those become very, very important as you're leveling up. Because if you don't understand and just choose willy-nilly, you can really kind of set yourself up, well, not really set yourself up for failure, but you can spend a lot of skill points and not get a lot of benefit from it. So that might be worth for you to check out. If you're thinking about getting the dog, where'd he go? Well, there he is. That is DLC. You have to pay for that. But part 3, we do all about the dog, and because they don't explain anything when you get the dog as DLC. Just here he is, and here's how you give him commands, but they don't tell you when to give him commands or what commands to give him in certain situations. How to keep him from running around all crazy. And we do a video on that. And then we did the last part 4 was all about hunting pressure. What it is, what it does, how it affects the animals, how it can get rid, delete your zones, but also how to get rid of it and how to use it to your advantage. But, while you're here in chat, man, always feel free to ask questions if there's things you don't understand or, things you're having problems with, man. We'll bust it out and we'll show you. For my one buddy, Turnstile Champion, I was right in the middle of a hunt on Yukon. And he's like, hey, man, I'm having a problem with tracking. Can you explain it? Okay, fuck it. Yeah, let's go. And I stopped what I was doing and okay, we gave him a whole, a half-hour breakdown on, how to track, what the tracks meant, what information you could get from them, and and how to track an animal before you shoot them, how to track an animal after you shoot them, and it was a lot of fun. It was. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Like I said, I'm no super guru on this game. I try hard, But if I can't answer something, man, there's a lot of good folks in this chat here with me that definitely will be able to answer questions for you too. So make yourself welcome. We're trying to find something to freaking kill here. I think we're just going to have to get out of this area. Let's go down to this little lake down here. We'll see if we can go hunt us some whitetail. We usually have a couple that come in here, and they are 8 to 11 o'clock. Okay. Yeah, a lot of people say with the mouse and keyboard too. I've known people that have played console and PC. They said aiming's actually a little easier, a little more precise with the mouse and keyboard. But that you have to determine that for yourself. I used to be a big gamer on PC, but not shooters. So I'm not sure. I can't say one way or the other which is better. Alright, so let's get us a waypoint. We do have a little ground blind set up down here. This lake, man, it's been through some changes. We had a couple zones in here, and we had one that was really far away. We ended up just deleting that on purpose, hoping it would respawn closer to us, and it kind of did, but then we were getting less animals in there. So we're still sorting some things out with it, but we'll get down there and have a look around. We'll go 7:45. That'll give us a little bit of time to get into our stand and not spook anything. Now there is a feed zone, or used to be a feed zone right out here. So we may see a whitetail or two right outside the door here. Yeah, right there it is. And we got tracks in there already. So we don't want to go running all crazy down in here just yet. We could end up spooking, doing a lot more harm than good. Yeah, right there's their zone. But we want to get down into next to this lake. And this will be our zone right here. We'll have these animals come in. Their drink zone's right in by these couple trees. So we set up a blind right on the opposite side of it. Now our zone used to be down at the bottom of this lake, and we had our blind. We actually had a tripod set up on the hillside right here. But then we get in there and we found some bobcats and some other things, and we accidentally shot too many with the rifle and deleted the zone. So they do come back, your zones do come back, but not in the same spot, and you don't really get to control where. Oh no, I did not want that. I wanted to enter. Man, those buttons are right close to each other. Let me in. There we go, enter. Okay. Yeah, our zone's right there across this little lake. Only 80 meters. So if they do come down to the water, they're well within range of our crossbow too. And we used to have this like nailed down to a frickin' sign, so we knew right where the deer were going to come in, that they were going to come in either right along this valley, right along the edge of the trees, or they were going to come down off this hill They were going to cross right over here. We knew what time, how many, when and where they were going to stop to drink right down here. There was 2 little spots. But now that these zones have changed, it's all up in the air again. And we haven't really been back here too much because since these zones have changed, we have not been seeing the numbers of animals that we were. So it wasn't really worth it to come down here to make 1 kill or 2 kills. But man, we got to get some hunting pressure put on someplace to erase hunting pressure where we do want to go in and hunt, where we do know there are some animals. And it's right at 8 o'clock now, so perfect timing. We got in here before the animals did, so we don't have to worry about spooking them, having them run off, having them use a different zone. Now we just got to be a little bit patient. We did bring our grunt caller with us. Not sure which one it is. That looks like a that's a red deer call. Did we equip our? No, we did not equip our caller. So we'll put that one there. We'll put the red deer caller there. Okay. And this one's got the biggest range of any of the calls for the white-tailed deer, 250 meters. And since obviously that zone is only 80, we'll be able to cover a pretty big area around us. Hopefully get them to come in a little quicker. And also, I think we still have... Yeah, we still have bobcat in the area too. That's one thing that's been popping up more and more here in Mexico is bobcat zones right next to the whitetail zones. And they will spook them around. Yeah, 1080p, baby. Hitting the big leagues now. 1080p, supposed to be 60 frames a second, but it's not. We're maxed out at about 48, 49, 50 frames a second. So still better than 30. And from our testing today, we've actually found that the 5,000 bit rate is better than the 6,000. Even though my internet can handle a lot more. We had some very good quality with that. Yeah, CPU loads is not bad. Frame rate's a lot higher. 0% drop frames, lag frames, anything like that today. Man, we're really happy. We got our microphone issues fixed up yesterday, and that quality will be back up as soon as I can get to an electronics store and get a couple audio adapters for my headset. Then we'll be back to using that and getting this good Turtle Beach microphone quality. But yeah, it looks like looking crispy there, huh? But we came back over to Mexico, a little break from Quattro. Don't want things getting stale. And man, we spent an hour. We haven't shot anything yet. We haven't shot a goddamn thing. We were up looking for mule deer up in these valleys to the east of this one big lake here. And we went up 2 of these valleys. We didn't see any. We saw one female. So man, it looks like that population redistribution, whatever, man, has really kicked in now. Like I said, we used to see a bunch up in here. We didn't want to go back up through our main valley because we already got hunting pressure up in there. So we wanted to try and hit some of these other spots, and we ran around for an hour and saw one freaking doe. So we decided to come down here, try our luck with some whitetail, and see what happens. we know the whitetail got chopped. Their numbers are way down. So I did want to take a little bit of a break from the grind. He said you don't want to get burnt out. And Mexico used to be one of my favorite maps. It was in my top 5. But man, now, whew, I don't know. I mean, if they chop the numbers down so bad that there's nothing left to hunt, then it's not really a hunting simulator. It's more of a walking in the woods simulator. But we'll hang out here for a little bit. It is 8:20. We'll make a couple more calls here. See if we get something to come out. Drill holes in the walls? No, I did not drill holes in the walls. Nope. My wife would kick my ass. I would be out on the street if I did shit like that. Yeah, we're actually running Wi-Fi, man, but they have very good internet, and my wife, she had already had the premium package because she does a lot of work in video production. Her YouTube channel, man, she has like 7,000 followers or subscribers. So she is already knew the need for having good internet for that kind of stuff. And yeah, I mean, it's good. I went to speedtest.net today, and I had the Xbox running Netflix, so that put a load on it. And I had something on the laptop too. And my wife was out in the living room in her little office space working on her computer, and I was still getting, what was it, 12? No, it was higher than that. It was 17 or 18 megabits a second download and 14 megabits a second upload with additional load on it. So yeah, we just been running straight Wi-Fi. That, man, honestly, we're stuck here with this fucking Green Pass shit, man. We can't go anywhere. We've been stuck on this island for probably 6 months. And I mean, we have shops and things like that, but not all the shops, you know. So I can get fresh baked goods, I can get fresh meat, fresh fish. I can go to a couple supermarkets, but man, I can't go buy a roll of Ethernet cable. You know, all that has to come from Amazon. Yeah, we can't even get on the ferry boat to go to the mainland without having a fucking Green Pass or fucking shit shoved up your fucking nose. And I have to go right over Christmas. I'm gonna have to miss Christmas at home because I have an appointment on the mainland at the 27th. And so the 25th and the 26th, everything's closed. And when you get the thing shoved up your nose, it's only good for 2 days. So I have to leave on the 24th, get the thing shoved up my nose, and get on the ferry boat and stay there all over Christmas and the day after for this appointment that'll take a half hour on the 27th. Have another tampon shoved up my nose to take one boat ride back. Not get out of the fucking car, not do anything, just to get on a fucking boat for 20 minutes. I mean, that's some bullshit. Pay $180 for 3 nights in a hotel room. Oh, there we go. There we got something. Yeah, and I mean, it's not like we're getting it. Most of the time, we just sit in the car, so it's not like we're even going to have contact with anybody else. It's fucking wintertime, man. We're going to be sitting in the car with the windows up, and we still have to have that fucking pay money, because it's about this. It's not about, keeping people healthy. So we have to pay twice to have these fucking tests done, so we can sit in our car with the windows up and not talk to anybody or not come in contact with anybody. And spend Christmas away from home because the fucking test is only good for 2 days. At least that was a buck. We were hunting a mule deer earlier. All we saw was a damn doe. Yeah, everybody is, man. Everybody is. They're pushing this fucking Omicron crap. And there's no scientific proof that it even exists. I did read, I saw an interview with this guy. He was Canadian. And this would have been an incident that happened a few months back now. Probably about 6 months. Tuesday for Christmas, fuck lockdown. He'll be gone, yeah. Yeah, I have to get the thing shoved up my nose to go 20 minutes, to the mainland. Oh, here we go. Looks like a little buck, but it looks like a buck. Yeah, he's a little fella. Are you gonna stay right there? Come out from behind those trees. And he's back to a 1. Where are you going? Oh, fuck you. You're not going anywhere. Look at that Eccles. Dropped him right now on the ground. 30-06, baby. Last 2 years in isolation. Yeah, not sitting there. I don't blame you. I don't blame you a bit there. So, yeah, an hour and 18 minutes on Mexico. That used to be the most populated map in the game. An hour 18 minutes to make 1 kill now. But yeah, this Canadian guy, this was something probably happened probably about 6 months to a year ago. That he got a ticket. He got fined for one of these bullshit, too many people in one place deal, or not wearing a mask deal, something stupid like that. And he's like, fuck you, I'm fighting this. And he took him to court, and it ended up going up to like the Supreme Court of British Columbia, the province. And it went all that way because he subpoenaed the Ministry of Health, and by extension the British National Institute of Health, and said, okay, if you're charging me, that's Bobcat, I think. Yep. No, that's Whitetail. Oh, there he is. He said, if you're charging me with this for violating this because of this disease, I want to see the evidence. I want to see all your lab results and all your evidence of this disease. And the NIH came back and had to admit in open court that they had no evidence that corona even exists. And this is the Canadian Ministry of Health, and by extension the British Ministry of Health. And he ended up winning the case. They threw it out. Oh, hello. 80 meters, we'll take that. But yeah, they had to admit in open court. Well, we're throwing out this subpoena because we can't produce the evidence. And they're like, what do you mean you can't produce the evidence? You were bring lab results. You know, if you're charging him for violating a disease, you know, charging him for, you know, doing shit for this disease, then you got to prove this disease exists, and they couldn't do it. So it's a total big scam, dude. It really is. It's fucking about control. It's not about health. Every day for 15 minutes to buy milk and dinner from your local shop, and you're home all alone. Yeah, I don't even go out most days. Most days, if I go out, I go out like usually like once every 3 days. I take out the garbage, which is right at the end of the street, the dumpsters, the recycling bins, and then I go, 200 feet down the street to the tobacco shop, and that's about it. Once a week, we go to the supermarket and load up, and that's it. That's it. We haven't been off this island in probably 5 or 6 months. And even here, man, all these small businesses empty, going under. You know, especially here, because it's a big, huge tourist area. I mean, it's fucking Venice. I mean, they get millions and millions normally every year from tourism. And, man, all the doors are shut. All the doors are shut for tourists. So a lot of folks, man, hurting. A lot of businesses hurting. And none of these government fucks give a shit. Their pensions paid for. You know, all these ministry people and politicians, their health care is paid for, their pensions paid for. They're getting a paycheck every fucking week, regardless of what happens to us. Yeah, it's not just the UK, it's the US, UK, it's here, Italy, all through Europe. All these places going under. And none of these fucking politicians give a rat's ass. Flesh and right lung. Oh man, that was almost the heart. Just above the aorta, it looks like. Well, that's probably about all we're going to see in here. We did get a little bit of hunting pressure though, so that was mission accomplished. See, I don't think we have any zones up in here. What's this one? Bobcat. That one might be, yeah, that's white-tailed deer, but that's not till afternoon. We do have our cursed lake up here. Even before the patch that knocked out all the animals, I come up here the last time and hunted these 2 zones. I saw 3 fucking animals, even before the zone. But this one up here is pretty decent. Wait, is this the right lake? No, it's this lake. We hunted these 2 zones and saw 3 animals. These zones up in here were pretty decent. And we did throw a tent up here, so let's jump up there and go down. We don't have any hunting pressure up there, and we'll go down and take a look. It was exposed last week when in the lockdown government had a Christmas party. Oh yeah, I heard that. I saw that. And old slick boy Boris was in on it, and they were laughing and having a good old time. You know, no mask, no social fucking distancing, no fucking nothing. It just shows the hypocrisy. Rules for us, but not for them. Yeah, fuck him. He's part of that whole elite system. They all need to go down. They've lost touch, man. They really have. I think anybody that wants to run for political office of any level, high or low, if you get elected, or to get elected, I think you have to go work at least 1 month at a minimum wage job. At least a month. Go get a taste of what it's like to be a fucking one of us. Then I bet you they at least have a little bit of sympathy. And no, not living in your townhouse You know, not driving your fucking Mercedes. You go live in a fucking little shit apartment like I lived in for 10 years. And you take the fucking bus. Or you take the fucking subway. Or you fucking walk like I did to work for many times. You go get a taste of what it's like to be me. And then you can represent me. And it's just as bad everywhere else, too. I mean, fucking Biden. Goddamn, dude. That dude's a motherfucker's a joke. He just got caught laughing. They were asking him something about something important, too. Like, and he stood there and literally laughed in the reporter's face. Like, really? And it's about people dying for something or another. And I'm like, you gotta be fucking shitting me. Now, we used to have a decent number of deer that came into these areas. So we got the one zone to the south of us here, this one zone right here on this bottleneck, and one out here on the peninsula. But that was before the patch that killed all of them. Learned the government knew Corona was coming in 2017. Thought it'd be 2025. Got grants for taxpayers. Oh yeah. Oh no. It's 2017 is late, man. Fauci has been funding this shit since like 2005. They knew it was coming because they were building it. They were sending American taxpayer money to a weapons plant, a biological weapon plant. Well, that's what Wuhan was. It was a biological weapons factory. It was not a humane thing. It was not a virus research to save people. It was a straight up Communist Party Army, Red China Army biological weapons program. Big cover up. I mean, yeah, it's cover up now, but man, they've been out there telling us right in front of everybody it was coming. Hell, Bill Gates has been out on mainstream media for the last 15 years saying, oh, this earth has too many people and we're going to run out of things, so we need to get rid of 70% of the world's population, and we're going to do it with vaccines. He's been out on NBC, CBS, BBC for 15 fucking years, right in everybody's fucking face, saying he was going to do this shit. And now it's happening, and everybody's all surprised. Come on, dude. You didn't see it because you didn't want to see it. Yeah, Bill Gates, he owns all this shit. He cannot step foot in India, and he cannot step foot in about half of the countries of Africa because of his fucking vaccines that cause millions and millions of birth defects amongst the pregnant women. I mean, the shit they do it's in the people's face. That's like a rule. Like, they have to do it. Is because if they do it, even if it's a comedy, like you see like the videos like with the Simpsons saying they predict the future and all that shit. Not really, man. He's in on it. Because if they do it in front of people's faces, even as a joke, and we don't fight back, then that's us giving implied consent. That's us giving them like free will to do it. That's how these sick fuckers work. mean, it's crazy, but it doesn't mean it's not true. You know, people have these issues, you know, like, and I broke it down. I'm like, seriously, I'm like, well, let's first off agree that evil exists in this world. Okay, we can all agree on that. There is evil in this world. Whether it's someone murdering another person, or it's a war, or, you know, rape, what have you, there is evil in this world. Okay, that's one thing that has not ever changed. And there have been people trying to take over this world, like, forever. You know, like, remember a little fella called Alexander the Great? Remember a little fella called Genghis Khan? Okay? And not even all that long ago, remember a fella named Adolf? And a fella named Mussolini? But now, if you try to mention that, people don't want to fucking hear it. It's like, come on, that shit just doesn't go away. People have been fighting and killing and murdering and doing everything, every evil under the sun to take over the world for as long as there has been organized society. And it hasn't stopped now. They just got a little slicker about it and went underground. And just because you might not do something doesn't mean that there isn't some sick fucker out there that would do it. And what? They want to kill 70% of the world's population? They wouldn't do that. No, you wouldn't do that. Those bastards are fucking nuts. Yeah, they got slicker about it. So, all right, I don't want to go into it because, man, I'll get off on a crazy ass rant, man. And I don't want to drive people away. Yeah, there ain't shit out here. Well, so let's find us a little spot out here by this bottleneck somewhere, and we'll give a couple calls, see if we get anything to come in here. But man, I think the whitetail population on this whole map took a big hit. I said this went from being one of the most populated maps. Yeah, the sheep don't like hearing a wolf howl. Yeah, indeed, brother. I mean, it's common sense, too. I mean, fuck. I say the same thing to people that argue about gun control. You know, all guns kill people. No, dude. Guns have only been around a couple 100 years. Murder has been around since day one. Remember Cain and Abel? Yeah, murder's been around a hell of a lot longer than guns. So don't come at me, guns kill people. No, bullshit. I've been around guns all my life. I've never killed people. Anybody. You know, my whole family's been around guns for many generations. We haven't killed anybody. Murder has been around forever. So that argument don't fly. And it's 8:30. Yeah, we're in this zone. Oh man, this fucking chair. No, no footsteps. I thought I heard footsteps. Alright, let's go sit right up in here. Bareback nuking some food, okay. But yeah, this is pretty disappointing for this map, and to played it before the last patch, before the Mississippi Acres patch, and to play it after, wow, it's a whole different game up here. So this map is literally gone from being one of the most heavily populated maps to being one of the most sparsely populated maps now. It's crazy. We caught that the last time we came here to do a whitetail hunt, and saw like 75% of our population was gone. And apparently they've now done, with this new patch, apparently have done that to the mule deer, because when we were here before, the whitetail population went down, but the mule deer population was still very high. Now, from today, we've only gone to a couple places looking for mule deer, so we can't say for sure, but it's looking like they got chopped down as well. And if they did, like I said, this map just went from a hunting simulator to a walking in the woods simulator. And that's a shame. I used to really enjoy this map. Well, there's one track. That could be for peccary or whitetail, could be coyote. Now that does look like deer tracks. Alright, let's see if we can... Oh wow, we're way up north of where we want to be. What the hell? No wonder we're not seeing anything. We're 200 meters out of the zone. In this area, there's our peninsula right there. So that might have a little bit of something to do with it. What was that? Jackrabbit. I don't care about jackrabbit. It's coyote, bobcat, very old. Everything's very old. It's either very fresh or very old. And very small windows for those ones in between. Very old just means 5 minutes or more. Alright, let's try going right down in here and making a few calls where there's actually some zones around. Oh, right there is one. I couldn't tell if it was a doe or a buck, but I saw him running. Let's get into some shrubbery. Yeah, now we're hearing footsteps. We got something's attention. Sounds like only one animal though. We only saw one moving. Yeah, right there. Just jump past through there. No, there's a couple. There's a couple. Yeah, I'm hearing 2 or 3 sets of footsteps. There's one. There's a doe. Thought there was one right here. No horns yet, no horns. Oh yeah, right there's horn. Oh shit, yeah, right there's horns. Fuck, fuck, fuck. It wasn't quick enough. Yeah, damn it. Alright. Alright, so pal, we're gonna shoot your girlfriend. See how you like that. Alright, so now we know which way they ran off to, which way they came from. So we can take a little bit better position. Where we got a little bit better view. Yeah, there was 2 bucks right there with them. Yeah, there's the bottleneck going out. Right there they stand. That's a 2. $1.60. He's with a doe. 30-06 to the rescue, buddy. And bingo. And what's those right there going? Oh, he disappeared in the bushes. There's a couple more in there yet. We'll see if we can call these ones right on the shore here. We'll see if we can call them back. At least we're finally seeing something to damn shoot. What's that up there? Is that a doe? Yep, there's a little doe, but at least she's coming in. I'd like to see, yeah, there we go, there's a 2. Come on in here, buddy. We'll take you with the crossbow. 60 meters. Where'd he go? Yeah, I know I got a doe walking right up to me here. But I want to see that buck. He disappeared in those bushes. There's the doe. There he is. Right there, 56. Boom. Doe, doe. Doe. Okay. We got him. He's down. That's another doe. Yeah, we're not seeing nearly the numbers that we used to see in here. That's a damn shame. And I think there's going to be a lot of people once they get off the Mississippi Madness, as I call it. Once the shininess wears off of this new map, and people start returning to their great one, their whitetail grinds, there's going to be a lot of pissed off people out there. Oh man, look at that, all the way through. Leveled up. We're up to level 52, man. We're closing in on 60 again. We're getting back to where we were before. And yeah, oh no, we actually got a perk point that time. Cool. I don't know what we're going to spend it on. It's been so damn long since I looked at them. Since I had a point to spend. See, maybe we'll catch another buck down in here. This one. Because there's this zone right here, we shot one buck out of it, and then out here further on the left is that peninsula. There is another zone out here. So we could have another group with another buck or two in here. Ooh. Okay, that's a doe. We may actually have to go out onto that peninsula to find them. Yeah, it's that little doe. She's probably the one that was with this buck right there that we shot. So you used to see groups here with the whitetail, man, these mixed groups, they would be like anywhere from 7 to 12, sometimes even more animals in a group. And now we're seeing 2 and 3 in a group. Man, that's pretty drastic cuts. Not a bad rack. Not a great rack, but not a bad rack. Yeah, the big 30-06, man. Shot through the heart. Yet again. Dropped them in the track. Severed that aorta.